Before James Bond became the legendary Agent 007, before the gadgets, the Aston Martin, and the license to kill, he was just a reckless young man with something to prove. 007. First Light tells the origin story of James Bond, showing how an ordinary naval serviceman became the most dangerous spy in the world. But this isn't simply a story about training and becoming a secret agent. It's a story about betrayal, conspiracy, corruption, and a mystery that reaches the highest levels of British intelligence. And it all begins in the freezing wilderness of Iceland. The incident that changed everything. At the start of the story, James Bond isn't working for MI6. He's serving with the Royal Navy and participating in a mission near Iceland. What should have been a routine operation quickly turns into a disaster. The facility comes under attack, communications collapse, and chaos erupts everywhere. Most people would have waited for rescue. Bond doesn't. Instead, he takes matters into his own hands. Improvising every step of the way, he fights through hostile territory, rescues survivors, and somehow manages to stay alive despite overwhelming odds. He breaks rules, ignores orders, and takes risks that should have gotten him killed. But against all logic, it works. Unknown to Bond, people inside MI6 are watching, and they're impressed. Not because he's disciplined, not because he's obedient, but because he possesses something that can't be taught. Instinct. The ability to make impossible decisions under pressure and somehow survive. That single mission changes the course of his life forever. Soon afterward, Bond receives an offer that very few people ever get. Recruitment into MI6. A reckless recruit. Bond is sent to Malta, where he begins training alongside future intelligence operatives. From the moment he arrives, it's obvious he doesn't fit in. Most recruits have already spent months training. Bond is behind everyone else. His instructors see him as reckless. Other recruits see him as arrogant. And honestly, they're not entirely wrong. Bond constantly challenges authority. He ignores procedures. He prefers instinct over protocol. But despite all of that, he consistently succeeds where others fail. Whether it's combat exercises, infiltration training, or driving courses, Bond continues proving that he has something special. During this period, he meets several people who will play major roles in his future. MQ Moneypenny, and most importantly, John Greenway. Greenway quickly becomes a mentor figure for Bond. Unlike the others, Greenway sees potential in him. He understands that greatness doesn't always come packaged in discipline. Sometimes it comes disguised as recklessness. And before long, Bond gets the chance to prove himself in the field. The hunt for 009. Bond's first real assignment centers around a mysterious MI6 operative known as Agent 009. According to intelligence reports, 009 has gone rogue. He's abandoned his mission, violated orders, and disappeared. MI6 wants answers. Bond and Greenway are assigned to help locate him. At first, the mission seems straightforward. Find 009, determine what happened, bring him in. But almost immediately, things begin feeling wrong. The evidence doesn't fully make sense. The official story has holes in it. And the deeper Bond investigates, the more questions he finds. Those questions eventually lead him to Slovakia, where a major international event is taking place inside a luxurious mountain hotel. What begins as surveillance quickly turns into disaster. A devastating explosion tears through the operation. Panic spreads, people die, suspects flee. And Bond finds himself chasing answers through one of the most chaotic situations imaginable. The mission culminates in a spectacular pursuit involving vehicles, aircraft, and a desperate fight for survival. But when the dust settles, Bond realizes something important. The evidence against 009 still doesn't add up. And for the first time, he begins wondering whether MI6 has been chasing the wrong man. The first big reveal back in London, the agency treats the mission as confirmation that 009 is dangerous. Case closed, problem solved. But Bond isn't convinced. Neither is Greenway. The more they examine the evidence, the more obvious it becomes that someone has manipulated the investigation. Someone powerful. Someone with influence. Someone capable of rewriting the truth. Rather than obey orders and move on, Bond continues digging. And that decision changes everything. Because eventually the investigation leads him to Mauritania. And that's where he discovers the first piece of the puzzle. A mysterious project known as THEIA. At first, nobody knows exactly what THEIA is, only that 009 was investigating it shortly before disappearing. And suddenly Bond realizes something shocking. Maybe 009 wasn't running from MI6. Maybe he was running from whatever THEIA really is. Into the shadows. As Bond continues following the trail, he enters a dangerous world of smugglers, black markets, criminals, and mercenaries. Every new lead points toward a larger conspiracy, one that extends far beyond a single rogue operative. The deeper Bond goes, the more dangerous things become. Allies disappear, evidence vanishes, witnesses die, and everywhere he turns, powerful people seem determined to stop him from learning the truth. Then comes the biggest revelation yet. 009 wasn't a traitor. He was trying to expose something. Someone deliberately framed him. Everything Bond has been told since the beginning has been a lie, and the people responsible are far more powerful than he imagined. Webb Industries. The investigation eventually points toward Webb Industries. On the surface, the company appears legitimate. A powerful technology corporation led by the respected Sir Nicholas Webb. To the public, Webb is a visionary, a genius, a businessman changing the future. But behind closed doors, the reality is very different. Bond infiltrates Webb Industries and uncovers information that changes everything. THEIA isn't just a secret project. It's an advanced predictive intelligence system. A machine capable of analyzing enormous amounts of information and predicting future events with terrifying accuracy. Suddenly, the conspiracy starts making sense. People weren't protecting national security. They were protecting THEIA. And anyone who threatened to expose it became a target, including 009. HYPERION. Just when Bond thinks he's uncovered the truth, another revelation emerges. THEIA isn't the final objective, it's only the beginning. Hidden behind THEIA is an even larger project, a system called HYPERION. If THEIA can predict the future, HYPERION can influence it, control it, shape it. The implications are terrifying. Governments, intelligence agencies, financial markets, military operations. All could potentially be manipulated by whoever controls the system, and standing at the center of everything are the Webbs. Sir Nicholas Webb, Damian Webb, and a network of powerful individuals who believe they should decide the future of the world. Bond goes rogue. At this point, Bond expects MI6 to act. He has evidence, he has proof. He has uncovered one of the largest conspiracies in modern history. Instead, he discovers something even worse. Many people inside MI6 don't want the truth exposed. Some are afraid, some are compromised. Others simply believe the technology is too valuable to destroy. For the first time, Bond loses faith in the institution he serves, and so he does what James Bond has always done best. He ignores orders. Operating without authorization, Bond continues the mission alone. No backup, no safety net, no permission. This is the moment where the reckless recruit finally begins becoming the Bond we know. The final battle. All roads eventually lead to Antarctica, a hidden research facility, the heart of the conspiracy, and the location of HYPERION. What follows is the largest operation in the game. Bond fights through heavily defended installations, navigates frozen environments, escapes deadly traps, and races against time to stop HYPERION before it becomes fully operational. The fate of countless lives now hangs in the balance. For Bond, this mission is about more than saving the world. It's about proving that people should never have the power to control humanity's future, no matter how noble their intentions may seem. Eventually, Bond reaches the heart of the facility, confronts the people responsible, and destroys HYPERION before it can be unleashed. The conspiracy collapses, the webs fall, and the world is saved. The ending. But even after everything he's done, Bond doesn't receive a hero's welcome. Instead, he faces consequences for disobeying orders, for challenging authority, for refusing to stay silent. Ironically, the same qualities that got him into trouble are also the qualities that saved the world. In the end, the truth finally emerges. 009's name is cleared, the conspiracy is exposed, and MI6 can no longer deny what Bond has accomplished. The reckless young recruit from Iceland is gone. In his place stands a man willing to do whatever is necessary to protect others. A man capable of making impossible choices. a man worthy of carrying one of the most famous designations in espionage history. James Bond has earned the title, Agent 007. And that's the complete story of 007 First Light, the game that finally shows how James Bond became 007. From a reckless recruit to a world-saving spy, Bond's first adventure lays the foundation for the legend we know today. And judging by the ending, his story is only just beginning. If you enjoyed this story breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know which mission was your favorite. Until next time, thanks for watching.